So, in this video, we are going to build off what we did previously. What I have here is my panorama image. I, I just went over how to do a content-aware fill, or maybe you're already coming from your panorama that already had the content-aware fill turned on when you created the panorama. What I want to go over within this video is how to use the functionality found within the crop tool to straighten your image and to crop your image. If we look closely at this image, I'm going to zoom in here, uh, Command plus to zoom in, and I could see that my image is a little skewed. It seems like it's tilting a little bit downwards on the left hand side. And what I want to do, I want to straighten this image. What we could do if you wish to have a reference, I'm going to go into view. Right now we do not have rulers turned on. With rulers, either Command R or Control R, we could turn this on. But once we create a ruler, if we click and drag from within the ruler and drag down, we're able to create a guide. And say, for example, I want to use this as a reference. This is only here, and it's like maybe these two pillars just to show you how they're not straight, they're not even. If you have a guide and you want to get rid of it, I'm going to press Command minus, and just to show you, this is only for reference. This will not be displayed in your finished piece. To get rid of this guide, uh, you click on it, and you could either just drag it back into the ruler bar. You can see it's no longer there. If you want to hide the ruler, you could press Command or Control R. It displays it or hides it. So you could bring one of those as a reference so you could see what is supposed to be straight. If you have this here, I'm going to press Command R to get rid of the ruler. You could also go to View, and under Show, I could tell it to, let's see, to guides are turned on. I could always tell it to hide the guides this way as well. Keyboard shortcut is Command or Control, and that's a semicolon. So that will display the guides. So I'm going to go ahead and display this is my canvas guides so that we could see it. I'm going to zoom in, and this time I'm going to switch to the crop tool. The crop tool is C on your keyboard. And with this crop tool, before we start using it, up on top under ratio, you are able to crop your image to a specific ratio. You could either have a specific one that you enter, or you could use one of the different ratios that they give you. For this image, our panorama, we're not going to be using a specific ratio. We're going to have a free ratio. There is a straighten which we'll go to in a moment, but I want to talk about this tool right here, the overlay options. You can see that once we go into the crop tool, we'll be able to display, hey, look at that, the rules of thirds. Or we could do a grid, diagonal, so on and so forth. Right now it's set to auto show, and we'll see what that looks like in a moment. I like the auto show because it'll just display it when we need to. And we'll go over the delete crop pixels in a moment. But what I want to do now, I want to click on the straighten. This gives us a little tool. Now notice that your cursor now changes. The way that you use this tool is that I'm going to click and hold down my left mouse button. I'm going to click from here, and I'm going to drag it to over here, this other one. And once I let go, you can see that it says it's a 1.4 degree change. Once you let go, Photoshop will rotate your canvas. Now it's in a preview. If you don't like what it looks like, you could always go back to straighten, and you could select a different area. What if I go over here to, say, this back wall? I want to go from all the way over here to all the way over here. Again, it's still in a preview. Before you could do anything, you could always say, I want to back out. You could either press this little circle with a line through, or you could press escape on your keyboard. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to press this button. You see it cancels it out. I'm going to go back to straighten and say this time, if you find that, here I'm going to press escape. If you find that this is getting in your way, there is another thing that's called snapped, where it might snap to it if it's too close. You could either turn this off so that way it does not snap to that guideline, or you could always tell it to show and turn off the canvas guides. So let's just turn off the canvas guides for right now. I'm going to go back to straighten. I'm going to click from this point right here, click, hold down my left mouse button. I'm going to click all the way over here, and now it's straightened from that area. Now it's still under the preview. I'm going to zoom out, Command or Control minus, and now what we get is also crop. So it's a two-in-one that we're able to do. For your panoramas, don't feel that you need to maximize your image, in that if I was to maximize it, there's going to be some part of my image that I don't want to keep. If you remember, or if you look closely on the far edges, the content aware fill didn't do a really good job on the far edges. So I don't want to keep that within my image. This is where you, the artist, get to decide what part of your image you want to focus on. I want to bring this one in over here because maybe I want to keep some of the rail. I don't know about the trash cans, but we'll see if we want to keep them. So maybe I want this to be symmetrical, meaning that it looks the same on the left and right side. So now I have something like this. Now how much of the top and the bottom do I want to keep? I would suggest that you zoom in to see what we have. So on this one, I really like that I have these two students right here. But I want to make sure that I don't keep something that's messed up in regards to my image. So I'm going to just slowly bring this up. And I'm going to just bring it up a little bit more. Now I want to keep in mind these lines right here. I don't want them to ride specifically right where my image. I wouldn't want something like this. I want to give it a little bit spacing so that they don't ride along the edge of the image. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. And then the top. You can see on some of the top, there's some areas that I might decide that I might want to crop out, or maybe I want to keep in there. But this is a matter of choice. Maybe I want to have this grid line so that when I move this up and down, I could still see the ceiling of the Broom Library. But I'm able to crop off that area. I'm going to zoom out just a bit, Command or Control minus, just so I could see what part of my image is going to be kept. And you could see that the area within this crop will be kept. What would it look like if I got rid of those trash cans? It brings it in a little bit tighter. This is where it all depends on what you want to showcase. Maybe I want to keep those trash cans. I could always get rid of them later on. So, but I want to keep it symmetrical. So I'm keeping some of that rail on both sides. Maybe I like that. Before you go ahead and tell it to apply, I want to talk about this option up here, delete crop pixels. With this checked on, imagine that this is a photo and you're putting some scissors to the edge and getting rid of everything on the outside. That's what delete crop pixels will do. If I leave this unchecked, this will kind of consider this maybe putting like a matte border over an image. So it's only going to display that portion of your image, but all these pixels will still be there. The difference is only really in regards to your file size. This will allow you to still crop your image. If you leave this delete crop pixels, say if you want to do something like this, but then decide, oh no, I actually want some of that, you could change your border. But if you have these pixels deleted, and if I were to crop right here and then decide, oh no, I actually want that information is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this turned off for right now. Now to cancel this, you select this button or escape. To apply it, the checkbox, or you press enter or return on your keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one right now. And what it's going to do, it's going to apply it. It's cropping your image, it's straightening your image and cropping it. And now this is my results that I have. It's a little bit more refined compared to what it'll look like before, earlier when I started. Now at this point, I am going to press Command or Control S to save my document. And you can see it's saving right here. So this change has been applied to my file. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to further refine or reduce the file size by changing the image resolution. So I'll see you then.